Hi, I'm Dustin Abbott, and I'm here today to give you the quick review of the Samyang AF 18mm f2.8. This is for Sony FE. Now, if you're interested in seeing the details of the performance, either when it comes to autofocus or the build and handling, or when it comes to video or image quality, I recommend that you take a look at the long format review. And particularly if you're interested in purchasing this lens, it will give you all the information that you need to make an informed choice when it comes to that. Today, however, I'm going to hit the highlights for those of you that have less time or less interest in watching the details and you just want the end result. And so what we have here is obviously a very small, compact option and inexpensive at price as of the day of this review, $329. It is an inexpensive wide-angle alternative if you have a Sony full-frame mirrorless camera. And then, of course, if you happen to want to use it on an APS-C camera, it will give you an angle of view of 27 millimeters, which is very close to a very popular 28 millimeter focal length. So useful there as well. And so you have a very small and compact lens weighing only 145 grams and being only a little over 60 millimeters in length. So this is a lens that you can bring along and really not feel the weight of it at all. Up front, it has a 58 millimeter filter thread, which is of course very, very common. And beyond that, what it doesn't have is any kind of switches on the barrel. And of course, it does not have any kind of weather sealing. And the latter is the greatest liability, I would say. It is focused by wire and employs Samyang's linear STM focus motor, which is very fast, very refined, and basically silent in operation. The only way that I could hear any noise at all is if I put the lens right up next to my ear in operation, where I could hear a very faint whirring. But even when during this session here where I was doing focus pulls to test for video, you can hear absolutely nothing as it makes focus changes. And so a very great result for that. Autofocus is also very fast, and there was really no situation that I was really disappointed by it. I had one shot where it pulled the background instead of my subject. I was shooting a portrait shot with a winter scene in the background, and it grabbed the background instead of my subject. It was outside of the range for IAF, and that was the only focus flaw that I saw during the time. And if you're closer, IAF will work just fine. It also works fine if you're using it like as a vlogging type lens, and it will track your face, track the eye very well under that circumstance. The focal length, of course, is very attractive for something like that, and the lightweight makes it a great lens to use for video and to put on a gimbal where you're not going to run into weight restrictions on almost any gimbal out there. And so great results when it comes to that. Now, when it comes to the image quality, there are actually, it's a very, very solid image quality performance. Out of all of the elements in the lens, almost all of them are special elements of some kind. And so while it's compact, the only compromise that I saw due to size was really that there was a fair amount of vignette at f2.8. Fortunately, most of that largely cleared up by f4, and frankly, I've seen worse on some competing lenses even that are considerably larger. Now, when it comes to that and to a bit of barrel distortion that has a very faint mustache pattern, it will be largely corrected in camera if you're shooting JPEGs or shooting video, both the vignette and the distortion. And if you're correcting in post, there isn't yet a profile available there. I was able to make another profile work and tweak it a little bit for the 14mm f2.8, and I got a pretty good end result. I just needed a little less vignette correction by comparison. And so I was able to get something to work, and I suspect you can do the same if you need to correct any kind of distortion or vignette. Chromatic aberrations were very well controlled with no evidence of lateral chromatic aberrations or really longitudinal chromatic aberrations. You really can't focus down all that close, and you don't have a great magnification figure, so you won't see a lot of bokeh from the lens. But what it is very sharp in the center of the frame from wide open, with good corner sharpness that improves to great by about f5.6. So landscape images are very crisp, very detailed, with good color rendition, making this a really great lens to bring along if you're looking for a wide-angle kind of counterpart maybe to a telephoto lens or some other focal range. It's also a nice complement if you've got, say, a 24 to 70 millimeter or the Tamron 28 to 75 millimeter kind of standard zoom range. It gives you a wider framing, an option to bring along for that. And at $329, I think it represents a great value. Already the early user reviews have been very favorable on this lens, and I'm not surprised. It's a lens that is small, attractive, and it just works quite well without a whole lot of penalty either to your wallet or to your back when you bring it along. I'm Dustin Abbott, and if you look in the description down below, I also have linkage to my full text review if you want more information or to kind of check it out in a little bit more of a longer format. You can do that. Also, as mentioned, you can watch the long format video review. There's also linkage there to an image gallery if you'd like to look at more photos than what I've shown in this review. There's linkage there also if you'd like to purchase one for yourself, or if you want to sign up to become a patron or to sign up for my newsletter, follow me on social media. You're welcome to do any of those things. And of course, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button right here on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.